You have imagined it. Everyone has. The numbers match. The screen confirms it. You are holding a ticket worth $50 million, or 100, or more. And for a moment, everything you have ever worried about, every bill, every compromise, every quiet humiliation that came with not having enough, evaporates. You are free. Except you are not. Because within 3 to 5 years, a staggering number of lottery winners end up in worse financial shape than before they won. Some go bankrupt. Some lose every relationship that mattered. Some report being less happy than they were before the money arrived. And the most unsettling part is that the research predicted this would happen, long before anyone bought a ticket. This is the science of what sudden wealth does to the human brain, and it explains why the fantasy of winning the lottery and the reality of it have almost nothing in common. Let's start with the study that first made this visible. In 1978, psychologist Philip Brickman and his colleagues at Northwestern University published a study comparing the happiness levels of recent lottery winners, recent accident victims who had become paraplegic, and a control group of ordinary people. The findings shocked the field. The lottery winners were not significantly happier than the control group. In some measures, they reported less enjoyment of everyday pleasures, small conversations, a good meal, a sunny morning, than the people who had won nothing.
Brickman introduced the concept that became central to hedonic psychology, the hedonic treadmill. The idea is that humans have a baseline level of happiness, a set point, and that both positive and negative events push them temporarily away from that baseline before the system adjusts and returns them to roughly where they started. Win the lottery, feel euphoric for weeks, maybe months, then gradually return to your usual emotional state. Become paraplegic, feel devastated, then gradually adapt and return closer to your baseline than anyone would have predicted. The treadmill does not care about the event. It only cares about restoring equilibrium, and it is ruthlessly efficient at doing so. This is the first reason winning the lottery does not produce lasting happiness. The brain adapts to the new normal with remarkable speed. The mansion becomes just the house you live in. The car becomes just the car you drive. The freedom from financial pressure becomes the baseline, and new pressures, ones you never anticipated, fill the space the old ones occupied. But hedonic adaptation is only one layer. The second, more destructive force is social. Researcher Jeffrey Dew at Utah State University and others studying the relationship between sudden wealth and social networks found that lottery winners consistently report deterioration in their closest relationships. Friends become suspicious, family members make requests that feel transactional, new people appear who seem friendly but whose motivations are unclear. The winner is forced into a constant, exhausting calculation. Does this person want me or my money?
This social unraveling is not paranoia. It is a real change in how people relate to you when the power dynamic shifts. Before the money, your relationships existed on roughly equal footing. After the money, every relationship contains an asymmetry that neither side knows how to navigate. The winner cannot tell who is genuine. The people around them cannot fully separate their feelings about the person from their awareness of what the person now has. Trust, the foundation of every meaningful relationship, is destabilized by the very thing that was supposed to fix everything. Psychologist Ed Diener at the University of Illinois, one of the most cited researchers in the science of happiness, found across decades of data that social relationships are consistently the strongest predictor of life satisfaction, far stronger than income beyond a moderate threshold. Money helps up to a point. Beyond that point, what matters is the quality of your connections, and sudden wealth degrades exactly the thing that matters most. There is a third mechanism, and it is the one that leads most directly to financial ruin. Behavioral economists studying lottery winners have documented a consistent pattern called mental accounting failure. When you earn money gradually, through work, your brain processes it through a framework of effort and exchange. You earned it, so you budget it, because the connection between labor and money is felt. When money arrives suddenly and without effort, the brain does not process it through the same framework. It feels like found money,
which research shows is spent more freely, more impulsively, and with less planning than earned money.
Researcher Hal Hershfield at UCLA, who studies how people relate to their future selves, has shown that the ability to plan financially depends on the strength of your psychological connection to the person you will be in 10 or 20 years. Most people have a weak connection to their future self, treating future them almost like a stranger. Lottery winners, suddenly holding more money than they have ever conceptualized, are asked to make decisions on behalf of a future self they cannot imagine, using an amount of money their brain has no framework for managing. The result is predictable. The money is spent in ways that feel urgent now but leave nothing for later. Gifts, houses, cars, investments in businesses the winner knows nothing about, all driven by the present self's inability to feel the future self's needs. The financial planning required to manage sudden wealth is a skill, and like any skill, it must be developed. It does not arrive with the money. Researcher Mark Brauer at the University of Wisconsin found that lottery winners who received financial counseling and structured payout plans had significantly better long-term outcomes than those who received lump sums without guidance. The difference was not intelligence, it was structure. The brain needs a framework to process large numbers, and without one, it defaults to the only strategy it knows: spend now, because now is when the brain feels alive. There is one more finding that ties all of this together, and it is the one that feels most counterintuitive. Psychologist Sonja Lyubomirsky at the University of California, Riverside has spent her career studying the science of happiness, and her research consistently points to the same conclusion. Happiness is not produced by getting what you want. It is produced by the process of working towards something meaningful. The anticipation, the effort, the small wins, the sense of progress, these are the experiences that generate sustained well-being. The arrival of the goal produces a brief spike, followed by adaptation, followed by the need for a new goal. Winning the lottery removes the process entirely. It gives you the destination without the journey, and the brain does not know what to do with a destination it did not earn. The euphoria fades, the adaptation sets in, and what remains is a person standing in a mansion, surrounded by things that no longer feel special, with relationships they no longer trust, holding more money than their brain can process, wondering why the thing that was supposed to fix everything did not fix anything. You have imagined it. The numbers match. The screen confirms it. And for a moment, everything changes. And there is one final pattern that researchers have documented again and again in lottery winner data, and it is the most human of all. Researcher Anna Hedonic at the University of Gothenburg studied Swedish lottery winners over extended periods and found that the most common regret was not financial. It was relational. Winners consistently reported missing the version of their life that existed before the money. The simplicity, the clarity of knowing who your friends were, the motivation that came from needing to work towards something. The money did not remove problems. It replaced familiar, manageable problems with unfamiliar, isolating ones. Financial stress, for all its damage, is at least a shared human experience. Wealth-related isolation is not. The winner finds themselves in a category that most people cannot relate to, carrying problems that sound absurd when spoken out loud. "I have too much money and I am unhappy" is not a sentence that generates sympathy, even when it is true. This is why financial advisors who specialize in sudden wealth call it sudden wealth syndrome. It is not a clinical diagnosis. It is a description of a recognizable pattern: guilt about the money, anxiety about losing it, suspicion of others' motives, loss of purpose, and a deep sense of disconnection from the life you had before. The syndrome is not caused by the money. It is caused by the gap between what you expected the money to do and what it actually did. The ticket was never going to save you. Not because the money is not real, because the happiness was never in the money. It was in the things the money cannot buy. And those things were available to you long before you ever bought the ticket, and they will still be there long after the money is gone. The brain has a baseline, and no amount of money has ever been able to keep it from going back.